Hey, there you are. Good to see you. Come on in. Welcome to Alive. Okay, here's a question. Do you consider yourself a success? Yeah, it's kind of a tricky question. I mean, I know for a fact I've considered myself a failure before. I mean, that seems easy. But success seems trickier, like a moving target or something. I made tea. Do you want tea? It's kind of tough to define, but at the same time, I mean, I know it's something I'm supposed to want, or something I'm supposed to strive for or pursue, and then someday have. Here you go. But what is it, right? Like, what does it mean? Is it money? Is it a family? Is it power? Is it prestige? Is it a hit kids TV show? Is it a trophy? Is it something you earn? Is it something you build? I guess my question is, what is success? Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay. All right. So, Wayne Coyne is he's a pretty rare guy, actually. He is someone who has essentially turned a lot of the messy, heartbreaking, beautiful parts of what it is to be an alive human person into weird music, into space bubbles, into rock concerts that feel sort of like cosmic birthday parties or NASA launches. He's actually a pretty hard guy to explain, but he is the front man of the Flaming Lips for like decades. I think they've formed like in the early 80s, I think 83. But he kind of blurs the lines, right, between concert, cosmic ritual, pop, profound spectacle. But it's all like crazy sincere. Like full disclosure, I have known Wayne for decades, and he literally is like my musical hero, right? And when I was 25 years old, if you asked me what success looked like, I would have said like that guy. Like that's the thing that I think is what success would be. And the deal is, he gave me this opportunity that I didn't deserve, right? Like we were talking about before. He put me on stage, like at the Hammersmith Apollo, where Bowie debuted The Spiders from Mars, right? And lifted me up basically in front of thousands of people, and eventually explained to me how important it is to believe in someone. But more than anything, he's just a dude that I think is completely amazing. He's the hardest working person that I've ever met, and he is here. Okay. Wayne Coyne.
Oh, right.
Thanks for coming by my window, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hey, that was better than I thought it was going to be. It seemed like, yeah. I could hear you talking about me.
Well, you're right outside my window. Of course, you could hear me talking.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were standing there until you knocked at the window.
Yeah, but you still have an amazing voice, Steve Burns.
Oh, thank you.
You know, when I'm talking to you in real life, it slips in between, like I'm just a dude, and then suddenly you've got this amazing, this amazing voice. You're made for this.
Oh, thanks, dude. My father. You should have heard my father speak, man. His voice was down here, and he was a lector at church. He would read passages from the Bible at church into like an SM58 microphone. in a vaulted room. He sounded like the Lord,
Oh, well,
I
perfect.
mean,
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
amazing.
Well, I mean, yours is not as overpowering. It's gentle. It's a gentle. I'm a friend. And I'm not here to intimidate you. Your voice is very like, don't worry, this is gonna be fine.
Well, dude, thank you. And you have one of my favorite voices
Oh well, thank you.
in all of music, I have to say.
Oh,
I promise this is not going to be just me blowing smoke up this man's ass for the entire interview. But you have to understand that this is my favorite band, right? But no, speaking of voices, we'll just start right there, I guess. Your voice is the first thing I noticed about the Flaming Lips, right? It's so unique, and it's so human and vulnerable and often imperfect, and it's those moments that are the emotional center
right.
of the Flaming Lips, and you're often singing about so many things that would be difficult to relate to otherwise.
I would be the least aware of those being qualities, other than when I would sing a song, to Dave Fredman or Steven or whoever, and say, "What do you think?" Luckily those qualities are there. It's not just in the melodies and in the lyrics. It's in a little bit of the presentation that you're always, the performance that you're always kind of doing in front of people, as you know. And so luckily I'm not really doing that. It's some affliction for the better or for the worse that I'm kind of powerless to. And then I, hopefully with everybody around me saying, well, do that thing, because that makes the song makes the song better, makes it more, like you say, vulnerable, makes it more expressionist, it makes it more so I'm very lucky in that way that I can't really sing, but there's an element of that breaks through it being just about notes and talent or whatever that is. It's a humanness, but I'm just lucky. That would be my main thing. I think that you and I talked about the most. It's like there's a thing that you love to do, and if you're lucky, the world loves it too. And you say, "Oh, look at me! I'm doing it. I'm able to do it." But it's just sheer luck and trying. I think that there's something in that voice that says, "Hey, man, he's trying." And
So wait a minute. Let's back up just a little bit.
I've known you. I mean, like it's almost like, is it a third of your life or longer than that now?
It's half of my life, man.
There you go.
How is that possible? Doesn't that seem inappropriate and not okay? That
we just
somehow
seem like we knew each other. I don't even remember in the beginning how I got to know you. I mean, the engineer that I'm working with here today, Taylor, he's quite a bit younger than me, and he remembers, going home from school and watching the first Blues Clues, and I don't know you from Blues Clues.
No.
I mean, I wasn't young watching you. I wish I was, But yeah, I don't know. I've just known you forever.
I've just always been there. I've always been there. I was your stalker, Wayne, for a while, and then you just adopted me. No, what?
I'd gladly do it again. Yeah.
What? The way I remember it was I was leaving Blues Clues. I was leaving the kids show, and I was screwing around with music. Right, I was messing around with Pro Tools and messing around with producing music, and I was at a party, and somebody put on the Soft Bulletin Flaming Lips record from 1999, and my inner guts and soul were immediately reorganized within about 45 seconds of hearing the first song on that record. I left the party and bought the CD. This is when there were CDs, and I went home and listened to it about 4 times in a row, and kind of just broke out. I hadn't heard music that did that. But I lost my mind, and I found your next show, which was in Chicago, and I flew to Chicago, and I saw you guys play, and I did not expect the live show. I did not expect to see a man on a stage with a megaphone, pouring blood on his head,
Right. Yeah, I didn't know where you were going, but yeah, exactly. Yeah.
beating a gong as though he had invented joy, and
Well,
the hopefulness of it. The whole thing just kind of blew my mind, and I thought, well, shit, I have to do this now.
well, I knew a little bit of that about you. I mean, I didn't know the state of mind so much that you listened to the Soft Bolton in and just. But I mean, in a sense, when you're, did you think you were searching then? Like you didn't know what you were going to do, or you felt like you knew what you were going to do, and then this changed your mind, or?
No, I mean, when I left Blues Clues, I mean, what we're talking about. What I want to talk to you about mostly is these concepts that we have of success, right?
Right.
And I had left a project. I had left Blues Clues that was objectively a success. But when I left that show, I can't say that I felt successful necessarily. I felt pretty lost, because I had never anticipated being on a kid show. I felt like this was something that happened to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I was kind of in like that desperate to prove oneself. I wanted to be anything else, when I left Blues Clues, and I thought I'd always wanted to be a musician. But when I saw you guys play, I thought, oh, that's what success is. If I can stand on a stage and move people and make people feel the way I just felt,
Sure. Yeah.
I would be a success. And so I flung myself at this endeavor, and I made a demo tape.
Your voice just went to this great, tell me your story. Tell me your story, Steve. Yeah.
Wayne loves my voice. So a couple of years ago, I got signed up for like 1 million Comic-Cons, and I didn't really know what to expect. I just kind of imagined an endless sea of Funko Pops and like a line of stormtroopers waiting to go to the bathroom, which, okay, isn't wrong. But what I didn't expect was this warm, supportive community full of people just getting deeply, unapologetically weird, and no one drags you for it. In fact, everyone is celebrating you for it. These places are really special and really, really, really cool. Now imagine that on a boat. Yes, I'm talking about Comic-Con The Cruise. From January 30th to February 3rd, 2026, sail from Tampa to Nassau on the Celebrity Constellation. It's 4 days at sea. You can meet and hang out with fan-favorite celebs, enjoy one-of-a-kind intimate experiences you can't find at other conventions, and you can skip all the lines that the landlubbers have to deal with. There's theme nights, cosplay, artist alley, which is always my favorite, panels, workshops, late-night conversations, parties. It's a big floating community where you can totally be yourself. Food, accommodation, entertainment are included. The only thing you have to do is show up, have fun, and be yourself with your people. Check out the 2026 talent lineup, including host Felicia Day and a slew of creators celebrating fantasy, sci-fi, and more. Head to comicconthecruise.com/alive to learn more and book your cabin. And don't forget to use code ALIVE for $250 off per cabin on new reservations. Comic-Con The Cruise, the ultimate fan adventure. The reason I wanted to talk to you about success, right? Not only because you sort of epitomized that to me in a way, certainly from a creative standpoint, but you gave me this opportunity, this ridiculous, amazing opportunity to kind of go from the unlikely mountaintop I was at, such as it was, you know what I mean? I felt like, oh my God, I'm given this opportunity to really step into this indie rock thing. No one gets this kind of opportunity that I just got. And I went on tour with you guys. I worked really hard beforehand. I lived in the back of your house for a while, and rehearsed. Yeah. And you were so helpful. and we eventually made it to the UK.
Those were great times. I mean, I never looked at it like he's got to launch his career. I looked at it like we're all having fun, and
I did.
You're working your ass off, and we did. We were working hard too. Everybody was like, "Let's just do this thing," and it's great doing things with friends. And you were. You were going for it, and I didn't feel like we helped you that much. It was just like, come with us. You're going to do all the work.
You took me on tour in the UK to support
Yeah.
Yoshimi. You were helping me a lot. But
Yeah.
the deal is, I was working so hard, and I got up on stage at the Hammersmith Apollo, and it was like my first show ever in a way. And I'm sitting there with a guitar, and you come out, and you're like, everybody, come to the stage, right? Come to the stage. And like 5,000 people rush the stage, and I start playing my song, and I'm like, I'm a mighty little man. I'm the awesomest. I'm so great. And by the end of the song, everybody went to the bar.
Oh, is that? Oh, I don't know if I saw it that way. Did you see it that way?
Yeah, man. And they kind of never came back, you know.
You like
and
metaphorically, or you just mean for that moment in the night?
no, I mean for the tour, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a sense that it wasn't going very well, despite having great musicians behind me. And there was a sense that I wasn't really holding the stage, and that it just wasn't really working. And I remember after the tour, you said, "Well, goddamn, Steve Burns, come on over, we'll have coffee," right? And you poured me a ridiculously strong cup of coffee, and you said, "Well, that didn't work." You know, I said, "I know," and you were like, "It was kind of bad."
I don't remember it being like as bluntly as that. Was it?
Yeah. And I'm grateful, actually, because then you went on to say, you know, essentially people come to rock shows for just a handful of reasons, right? They come to get drunk, they come to possibly get laid, but they're really there to watch human beings believe in themselves in ways that they cannot. And you said to me, you don't have that third part. Not yet. You know?
Oh.
And I was like, well, goddamn. I mean, just imagine that, you know, I'm sitting at a table.
I think for the most part, it's hard for people to say, I don't know this guy's music, but I'm going to like him anyway. I mean, that's why I probably said, well, come up to the stage and you'll listen to this guy and see if you like him. And you have to remember, you know, ZZ Top opened up for the Rolling Stones in the late 70s. And even though, you know, the night before they played to, you know, 4,000 people and everybody loved them, opening up for the Rolling Stones, everybody there hated them, you know. And when you come to see a certain thing, the thing that happens before sometimes is it just doesn't matter about if it's good or what it is. It's like, we're not here to see this. We're here to see this other thing. So I'm sure I would have explained that to you. You know that as well. They're there to get excited for that music and that scene or whatever. And it's a difficult spot. You know, I mean, we've opened up for lots of people. You know, we were opening up for Eva Weezer just at the end of last summer and stuff, you know. And yeah, it's difficult to win people over. But I mean, you know, the way we sort of look at it now, it's like, it's great to have this challenge. And we oftentimes will just play for ourselves. If the audience doesn't like it, it kind of empowers you to be like, I'm not playing for you anyway. I'm just playing for me, you know?
Yeah.
And, but that's difficult when you've gone to a lot of trouble to be like, I want this presentation to make a difference here. I want them to like it. I want them to be entertained. And then when they're not, you know, I mean, I don't care who you are. It's tough. It's tough to take. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and to be clear, I mean, you weren't being a dick. You were being quite the opposite. You know, you were saying, well, that didn't work, and here's why, you know, and I think you were right. And obviously I had my musical hero across from me with a cup of coffee saying, well, shit, that didn't work. So that was, you know, that was hard to hear, but it was such a kind bit of honesty, because that kind of redefined to me what success might look like, or what might be necessary to be successful. Because that is true, Wayne. You know, like I hadn't been a musician. I just like skipped all the steps and stepped onto a stage. I didn't like, you know what I mean? And
but that's not that unusual. I mean, there's lots of people that, you know, go up there and try it and they get lucky and they could say, well, I never did this before. And people think I'm great. And there's tons of people out there that do it for 50 years and no one ever likes it. You know, I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in, you know, I always say, you know, it's luck has to find you working hard. You know, that's
right.
The best, because you're already like, I don't care if this succeeds or not, because I'm going for it. You know, but I just love creating stuff. I love creating music. I love creating the live show. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky that people will come and watch it and give us money to do it all, but I feel certain I would do it anyway. There's a certain amount of what is success in just that you just create it, you just do it, and when people show up and when people like it and when they give you money and when it, that all is like, yes, that's all great too. But, it's kind of like, I know I would be doing it anyway,
You said, luck has to find you working hard.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's good shit. Yeah.
Especially songwriting. It's like, what is that? How do these things come to you? And I always say, like, the gods of music. And I always use this sort of voice. It's like, well, look, there they are. They're working hard down there.
Oh, I say. Look at Wayne. Wayne's certainly working hard today. He woke up at 5 a.m., I say.
Yeah, they're working so hard. Let's throw them one, would we? It's like, okay, let's throw them one. And then they throw you a Do You Realize? And then they're like, hope he doesn't mess this one up, And then they look at you 5 years later. So he really did good with that one. Maybe we'll throw him another one. And that's everybody who writes songs. It's like you just have to be doing your thing to explain, what's the magic of a song that communicates and all that. Be like, if anybody knew, we would all make it a formula and we just do it every time. But nobody knows. It's just such a strange combination of the song, the person, events that happen, and you have to be doing your thing. And hope you get, lucky.
Do you feel successful? Do you feel like you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, for me, I say it all the time. It's like if I was a billionaire, which I'm not, if I was a billionaire, I'd still be living the way I am now. There's not another level that I'd be like, only if, I'm living the absolute weirdo artist dream to the maximum.
Yeah, you're pretty weird. You're pretty weird. Yeah.
But I like doing stuff. I don't want to ever, get to where I take 5 years off and have a bunch of people doing everything for me. I like doing the stuff, like when we were first starting off, it really was like an adventure. There's the adventure of it, which if you get to have an adventure when you're young, you've succeeded.
Yeah.
You want to do crazy shit. You don't really care. You just don't want to be stuck, at home with the same job for 20 years saying, gosh, I wish I would have gone out into the world and had an adventure. And so as soon as we could, we saw being in a band as a way of being like, we can go anywhere now and have an adventure and meet people and things could happen,
What do you think the relationship is between success and failure? I used to think they were opposites, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think that there's like a weird sibling kind of relationship there. You know what I mean? Like they are very much related. What do you think?
Yeah. I think anytime you're doing a creative endeavor, whatever it is, it probably is not going to work that well. And you have to take a chance to say, I know, but I want to do this. I want to learn from this. I want to make this in the world, and maybe it won't work now, but maybe 5 years from now, it does work. You were talking about the Soft Bulletin coming out in 1999, it wasn't successful in the beginning. And, it took about a year. Or really, and our one-hit wonder song, "She Don't Use Jelly," was not a hit at all, even in the first year. And as time goes by, all these things get compressed into be like they recorded the record, then they put it out, and it was a smash.
It was smashing, I say.
But we knew because we'd made the song, we put it out. It wasn't like we had a bunch of people doing all this stuff for us, and you could see where it started to take off. The very first thing that we put out, our record that we made ourselves, it came out in 1984.
Oh.
We recorded it ourselves, and it got reviewed in these hipster magazines, and they absolutely loved it. Very luckily, they absolutely loved us. And these friends that, seriously, just a week earlier, were like, yeah, your band sucks, we don't care, but, whatever, I'm cooler than you, or whatever, read the review, and to our face was like, now you guys are great.
Right.
I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And You're like, but I thought last week you said that we sucked, and you thought we're nothing. But now you read a review that said we're great, and now you think we're great just because the review said we're great. So we had a choice even then to say, you guys are idiots. Why are you following along with this? And we didn't. We just said, oh, well, good. I'm glad you.
Did that review change how you felt about your band?
I mean, for us, anytime we've had that type of success where it's like you make something, people like it. Oh, it gives you more, I don't know, what's the word? It gives you more freedom, gives you more energy, gives you more power.
Yeah.
We go and just do the thing that we absolutely want to do,
Every time though, right?
Well, if you're sort of struggling to find out what's going to work or whatever, I think the soft bulletin, when we made that, we were in the state of mind like, we don't care what people think. We're going to make this record, and we assumed that we would get dropped from the label Warner Brothers, and that would possibly be the last record we made, especially with those elaborate budgets that Warner Brothers would give you back then, $300,000 to record a record, Well,
that's kind of what I wanted to, it's kind of where I was going to go. Like,
yeah,
you don't seem to care about the expectation of what might be successful, I mean, because it is kind of a world, especially a major label world, right? Where they want to kind of polish out all of the weird edges and sort of make everything a little bit the same. There is an expectation of some kind of conformity around success, you would think. And yet you've been on a major record label for like 40 years, being the weirdest human being around.
But I think it depends on the group as well. I think some groups, they want that success too. They want to get with producers, and they want to get with marketing people to be like, we want to be a success. We want to be playing stadiums. And if we don't, that's your fault. So we're just we'll play along with whatever we feel like will get us to play stadiums and make us famous and make us the most, make us look as cool as we can. Whereas our record label, they knew we weren't really playing that game with them. We were saying, you give us money, we'll make these records as best we can make them, as cool as we can make them, do our own thing as best as we can, and we'll work hard to see if we can sell some of them afterwards. We'll just keep trying. We made our own videos. We didn't need tour support, all these things that would be like, if you guys help us make these records, we'll create something and hope it works. And we got a lot of opportunities back then, opening up for Tool, opening up for Butthole Surfers and Stone Temple Pilots, all these things, because all those people liked our records and stuff. They weren't putting us on the tour to think, well, they'll make us all more successful. They just thought opening up for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were like, we like your records, play with us. And we were like, okay, cool, So yeah, I think they could see that we weren't being like, we need to be a big, successful, famous band. We just want to make cool records and, try hard.
The holidays are upon us, which means everything from snow removal technicians to chestnut roasters to sleigh drivers and mall Santas. Businesses are hiring for holiday roles, and we all know that people with special skills and experience are not only in high demand, they're notoriously hard to find. So, whether you're hiring for one of these roles or any other role, the best way to find the perfect match for your role is on ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/alive. ZipRecruiter has this amazing matching technology that connects you to top talent fast, and that's probably why they're the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. So let ZipRecruiter find the right people for your roles, seasonal or otherwise. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/alive. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/alive. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Interesting. So, I mean, it is. I mean, you were never really gunning for an idea of success that wasn't inclusive of your own personal instincts and your own personal sense of direction and your own personal belief, right? Which I was doing, which was the mistake I was making, when I was on stage at the Hammersmith Apollo. But we all sort of like pattern our notion of success. We kind of model it on people we've seen, on successes we've seen. So who were your like early heroes? Who? Because we all have that band, right? Like,
Yeah, I
who
mean,
were
earliest on would have been, my brothers loving the Beatles, and my mother loving Tom Jones, and I just
Tom
thought
Jones?
Tom Jones, yeah, and so everything that I did musically, especially early on, I wanted them to like it. I wanted my brothers to like it, and I wanted my mother to like it. So it wasn't like I wasn't making music to say, "Hey, fuck you. Here's what I'm doing." I was making it to be like, I love music. I don't know how to make it, but whatever I make, I hope that they like it. I hope
That's
it just,
really interesting. I did not know that about you. So, so tell me about that. So I know you have a bunch of brothers in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So initially you were trying to impress your family. You were trying to impress your
Not
brothers.
impressed, just be like that. They always encouraged me, when I was drawing and painting. I mean, my mother bought me my first wah-wah pedal, and I would be playing loud as fuck, horrible, unmusical, loud, distorted guitar.
It's an incredibly thoughtful gift from a mother to a son. It is.
But I mean, I did like those kind of effects. If you're not a great technical musician, having a bunch of effects that make great sounds is a great way, to say, look, you sound cool.
Yeah.
That? Yeah, I mean, I think for me, you couldn't escape how much the culture was about rock and roll when I was growing up. I was born in 1961, had older brothers. They all embraced the Beatles, all cool music, really, but drugs, motorcycles, all this stuff. And we all did that together. We lived everything together as a gang, and they had tons of friends, tons of drugs, tons of motorcycles. I knew all the dudes in all the bands in Oklahoma City. We would go to parties. Everybody would all be there together. They would all be playing house parties and stuff. Though I didn't know anything about music, I just wanted to write my own songs more than anything. I just thought, I want to write songs and just make stuff up, And really, that makes all the difference, I just started writing songs, yeah.
Did you have a particular musical hero? Do you that's
sure,
who I'm
Beatles,
patterning off of? Or
Sure, the Beatles. But then as it got to be more realistic, as punk rock came along, 1977, 1978, I could see real life, real musicians, like doing it. It wasn't rock stars, I guess that's the difference between like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and The Who, these types of bands. That music is really untouchable. But when I would see punk rock bands, I'd be like, well, that's I could do that. I wanted to. That, and I didn't care that I didn't have any musical ability. What I didn't have as musical ability, I made up with just working hard and determination, which you can do because then I would meet musicians and stuff that, liked that quality that I had, and then I would write songs, writing songs and having your own. I don't know, is it Leonard Cohen that says, I always thought it was about just telling your own truth, telling your own story, and that's all you're doing. It's not about music, and it's not about a career. It's not about anything. It's just you're up there telling your own story, your own version of the truth. So it's hard to say what is the success and what's the failure, because it's like you just try things, and some things succeed, and you don't want them to be something you have to do all the time. It's like, and some things fail, but it's something you want to keep doing, and you just are always deciding within you, like, that thing failed. I didn't like it that much anyway. Who cares? And I mean, you always worry. I mean, like with you and Blue's Clues. I mean, when Blue's Clues was succeeding, did you feel like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to be trapped and I don't want to keep doing this? Or was your contract up and they were getting rid of you anyway? What led you to leave that thing that seemed to be working for you so well?
all of those things, I didn't necessarily feel trapped. I wouldn't say that I felt trapped in that role. I felt miscast in that role. I felt like, dear God, they have the wrong man. This is not, I mean, you know me. Like, you're an interesting person to ask this question to, because you don't really know Blue's Clues. Not really.
No, I mean, I know. I get it, but yeah, I didn't
Right,
know it.
but it's not like you were watching it, so you're not super familiar with it. Can you imagine me on a kid show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I can't. I still can't, and I couldn't then. And so I really felt like I was sort of leading someone else's life. Like I had taken a wrong turn and that this was almost a cosmic mistake. And I had a good thing going, but I didn't feel qualified. I guess they call it imposter syndrome or whatever. Sure. But I really felt as though this should be a child development specialist, or this should be an educator doing these weird things. I was just afraid I was going to be found out as a fraud, as someone who was never qualified to be doing kids TV.
Well, I mean, do you still feel that way now? I mean,
no,
I would
no, I don't.
Most things in the world are like that, especially things that succeed without. It's like, hey, this is working. I don't know why it's working, but now it's working, and it seems to be. It seems like it appears that we know what we're doing, but we don't really know what we're doing. But there's so many things in the world that are just like that. Well, I mean luckily, airplane travel isn't like that. I always sort of feel like they know what they're doing. And but I mean, entertainment, in what we're doing, you really cannot have any idea what you're doing, but you can be very appealing to an audience.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. And
the other side of it can be true as well. I mean, you can be the most studied, the most practiced, the most, straight A, whatever, and no one can like you. And it can be completely unfair the other way too. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I always sort of feel like, look, if they like you, you're just lucky. Let's go. That's not a punishment. That's not it's nothing to regret. You know
what I think it is, Wayne. I think I, like so many people, had a prescribed idea of what success was going to look like. Right. I'm going to move to New York City. I'm going to be Al Pacino. I'm going to be a dangerous short guy actor who smokes cigarettes and does plays that no one ever sees, but that critics love, right? That's what I am destined to do. And when those things happen, I will have succeeded. I will be a success. Instead, something else happened. And because it didn't meet my expectation, I refused to invest in the success of it. Does that make sense? And that is kind of a recipe for disaster.
But what you're saying is you went to pursue this other thing, and then that part of it didn't satisfy you, or it didn't happen, or it wasn't what you thought it was.
Something else happened, and something very different happened, and it wasn't what I told myself. Because when you're 14 years old, sure, it seems they ask you like, all right, what's your dream? What is your dream? Identify that dream.
Yeah.
Right? And place it in the sky like the North Star, and then follow that. You're 14. You have no idea. And you're like, now take all these classes and get into debt in pursuit of this dream, and work hard. And if you work hard enough, you will succeed. And you will obtain that dream. And if you don't obtain that dream, that means you didn't work hard enough and it's your fault. And it's just sort of a prescription that we're sold, that I felt that's what I was doing. I thought, okay, well, I have a dream. It's important to have this dream.
Right, yeah.
And I will pursue the hell out of it. And what I missed was the joy of the dream adjacent scenario that was going on in my life.
When you took the job at Blue's Clues, I mean, that didn't look like Al Pacino smoking cigarettes.
I needed the money, man. Like
end of story. And I mean, end of story. That's, I mean, to me, that's a better story. That's a better story, because if you would have,
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, the things that happened to us is really us. It's not the notions that we had. Yeah.
I will say this, and I'm realizing this just in talking to you, is I almost didn't go to the audition because I thought it was just to be like the voice of a cartoon, And when I got there was a camera in the room, and I said, "Oh shit, I don't want to be on a kid show," But it was kind of too late, so I just kind of did the audition, and I kind of just pulled this character out of my butt, and I did that part where there was a part on Blue's Clues, because Wayne doesn't know Blue's Clues, but there was a part on Blue's Clues where I look really close into the camera, and I just ask a question, and I just say like, "Will you help me?" Right, and
Right.
I made it. I made it like almost uncomfortably sincere and real, and I got way too close to the camera. I got like
This in the audition?
yeah, like I got like weirdly close to the camera and did it.
And this wasn't this. They didn't direct you to
No,
do this.
no, no, no,
So-
no.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in that weird silence of me just asking, "Will you help me?" I felt something. I felt a thing, right? I felt a thing that felt very true to me in that moment. And that's kind of what I made that whole show out of, from my perspective, was that feeling in that moment. And that's the feeling in a moment I never had, ever, not one time, standing on a stage with a guitar, It was that true centeredness of your belief, I guess.
I mean, I always tell people, like, when you have a dream when you're 14 years old, it doesn't matter what it is, being a rock star, going up to outer space, any of that, you don't have the stress in the dream. In the dream, you feel absolutely great and everything is happy and it all works out and it's very simple. But in real life, as you get there, it's stressful. To be on stage is stressful, and you got to just work to the point where it's not stressful, and you get to enjoy all that stuff. I think you doing this audition, assuming I'm not going to get this, and I don't really want it. I'll do this weird thing, and I'll get away with as much as I can. You probably weren't that stressed out about it. You probably were just like, I'm gonna have fun, and part of you was free.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, the script that I looked at read like a game show, like The Price is Right, sort of. Like, which one is the triangle? Do you know? And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But I thought, oh, it's cool that he's talking to the camera, so I made it something that I enjoyed. I made it like this really personal, like, I have no fucking idea which one is the triangle. Do you have any idea? Like, I don't know. Maybe you could help me out here.
I like it right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, but in real life, as you go and do things, it's stressful. You have expectations, and there's a lot of things to organize. There's lots of money involved. There's lots of egos involved, and it becomes stressful. It's not as simple as that. But you fight through that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. And that's something that comes up in your music all the time that I love. And one thing you said to me once, I came off stage in the UK somewhere, Portsmouth or something, and it was particularly bad. Like, it was particularly bad. And I came off stage, and you just went, well, it's a struggle. And that's true.
Yeah.
And that is true. It is a struggle, and it's going to be a struggle. I don't care who you are. It's gonna be. The struggle's not optional. And I've come to believe that it's how you meet the struggle that defines who you are, really, and what you're gonna do.
It is. It's a struggle, and that stress is hard. It takes all the fun and all the excitement and all the things that you like about it. It can take it away. That's why it's just, you just got to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fight through that to get back to that freedom of, like, I'm doing that thing and I feel it inside here, and
I'm doing that thing and I feel it inside here, and I like that. What about, we talked an awful lot about creative success, right?
Yeah.
What about the other sides of it? What about, I mean, you have kids now? You have a family?
Yeah. Best thing ever.
Has having children changed how you view the concept of success?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the way I work, the way I'm doing the thing that I get to include, I'm working with all my friends. They don't see me working like I hate this job. They've never seen me like hate my job or anything like that. But having kids, I think there's a part of every man's mind that is not there until you have these kids. And then you realize a lot of time that you spend worrying about yourself. Am I cool? Am I right? Am I, what is this? that is now used up just trying to keep them alive. You know, every minute you think, like, are they going to, we have a pool, and in the pool, we only have a little bit of water in there. They can both stand up in there, but do you still worry every second? Like, it gives you this amazing priority of this is important, and this other stuff, though it's important, it's not as important as them. And all that, I think, works itself out amazingly. You know, I think any artist would benefit from having children, as long as you love them and want to take care of them, you know.
Please make a kids record, Wayne Coyne. I have thought that you needed to do this for 25 years. 25 years, I've thought.
Well, I think I'm making records that, you know, appeal to the child that remains in all of us, that individualistic person. I don't think kids don't need records like the Flaming Lips, because everything in their world is like Flaming Lips music to begin with. You don't know that this is weird or this is not the ordinary till you're older. You know, when you're young, everything is utterly fantastic. I try to remind, you know, we'll be walking to the park, you know, with the kids, and they get out of the car and there's grass and sand right there, and they just start to play right there. And they're like, why do we have to walk over there when we could just be playing here? And I go, you're right. They call that a park, and this is a parking lot. And they're like, we have grass and sand right here. Why can't we play here? And I'm like, I know.
There's grass and sand right here. Success. This is already success. Success is right here in front of us.
Yeah. It's already fantastic. Yeah.
Wayne, I love talking to you. I could do this for about 4 more hours. But listen, man, they say don't meet your heroes. I did. And it was awesome.
Well, you're one of my heroes too. Yeah, I totally disagree with that. Meet your heroes. Yeah.
Anyway, man, I love you, dude. And thanks for coming by, Wayne.
Bye, Steve. Thank you for having me. Bye, Steve.
Bye, Wayne. Bye. Yeah, he's the best. Right? What a cool guy. He's awesome. And I actually feel like I learned some stuff that I didn't know. I loved some of the stuff he said. I loved when he said, if I was a billionaire, I would still be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Because to Wayne, success is really a matter of working super hard at something you totally believe in, whether anyone notices or not. Oh, and I absolutely loved when he said success has to find you working hard, because I love the idea that success is out there, like looking for people to find. And if it comes knocking and you happen to be like a very slothful, lazy person, it's just going to walk away. I like that. And, of course I loved the story of his kids getting out of the car and, just wanting to play in the sand and the grass right in front of them, because sometimes the grass under your feet is all the success that you need. Let's go outside. All right. Well, that definitely helps me think of success a little differently, you know? Oh, I mean, just sitting here in a hammock, it feels pretty successful. What would success look like to you if it had nothing to do with money or power or prestige? Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming by. It's great to see you. Always. You look great. Alive with Steve Burns is a Lemonada Media original. If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Premium yet, now's the perfect time. You can listen to the show completely ad-free, plus you'll unlock exclusive bonus content from me as I reflect on this episode. Just press subscribe on Apple Podcasts, head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe on any other app, or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. That's lemonadapremium.com. Alive is hosted by me, Steve Burns, and produced by Jeremy Slutskin. Our editor is Christopher Champion Morgan. Our associate producer is Akshaz Tharabailu. Audio engineering by James Sparber. Lemonada's SVP of weekly programming is Steve Nelson. Executive producers are Jessica Cordova-Kramer, Stephanie Whittles-Wax, and me. We'll see you next week. And you look great, by the way.